97.9 Kick FM. Pleased to be joined this morning by Josh Turner, who's going to be in Hannibal at the Hannibal Barbecue Fest coming up Friday, July 18th. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Pretty
We're
good.
all right.
Yeah.
Now, I know the tour is just getting underway, and I know you're a veteran of doing this touring thing. What does a tour preseason look like for you now? And how is that different from the way preseason touring was when you were younger?
Ooh, I don't know if I've ever been asked that question.
That's a good question.
Well, the funny answer is that my tour has never really stopped once I started. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, fair is fair.
people always ask me, when are you going on tour? And I'm like, I'm always on tour. What are you talking about? I mean, it literally never stops. And it's kind of, it's there's a lot of seriousness in that, too, because I've interacted with artists from other genres, and they go out and tour during the summer, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of wild. As a country artist, like, we're touring year round. And there's pros and cons to that, obviously, but it's like I said earlier today, as long as the fans and the venues will have me, I'm going to continue to go out and do shows and give them what they want. So as far as getting ready for a tour, usually it just involves kind of restructuring my set list, and the more hits you have, the easier that kind of becomes. I remember back in the early days when I had to build a set list around like one or two hits. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
You're playing a lot of cover songs and all this, because especially back when I had just one album, you didn't even have enough album cuts to fill a set list, so it was kind of slim pickings back then.
Yeah. That kind of leads me into my question, Josh, is, you've been touring, like you said, so long in your career. What is that one song that just, every time you sing it, you're like, yeah, this is it. This is this is a song to just get you going.
I
know you have the big categories.
Yeah, and I mean, they're all my favorites
Yeah.
in a sense, but and there's some that are more personal than others. But
Sure.
as far as strictly performing something on a stage, to a live audience, Why Don't We Just Dance has always been
That's a good one. It's one of my
a
faves.
special song. As far as, like, I kid you not, before anybody even knew that song, before it had even gotten up into the area of the chart where it was starting to become familiar, like, we started playing that live, and I kid you not, like, it was like sending a jolt of electricity through the crowd. Like, people just got up, they started dancing, they started moving around, throwing babies in the air, all this kind of stuff, and it was just kind of wild, and it's still that way to this day. Like, from the first few notes, people just start going crazy. I don't know what it is about that song.
Yeah, I just know, like, probably as an artist, when you see the audience singing your song, like, just that reality of, wow, like, this just that moment of they know my music.
Oh, yeah, and like I say, I've been doing this now for over 20 years, and, that part of it never gets old.
Sure.
I look back on my life, and back when I was 13 years old, when I was singing my first country song in front of a crowd, and the reaction that I got that night, I knew from that moment on that I just wanted to continue to experience that in some way, shape, or form, and so I've been able to do that for a long, long time.
Well, we're lucky that you're still doing that and going to be doing it in America's hometown coming up Friday night, July 18th. When we talk about venues, Josh, obviously Grand Ole Opry, the Ryman, Red Rocks jumps to mind. But you got to play in a place very few artists get to play, and I'm fascinated by this. You got invited to NASA to perform for the astronauts. And the question I have for you is, can rocket scientists and I guess astrophysicists set mics up properly? Or were there sound people on staff, or did you bring your own to set it up to play for the astronauts?
So that's a great question, and you're not going to believe this, but I was literally singing into, like, an antiquated phone.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, like the phones that we used to have growing up.
Yeah.
The phones at our grandmama's house.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally, my guitar player and he was playing, I was singing, I was holding the phone in my hand, singing into that phone.
Oh my gosh.
The astronauts in space. I mean,
That's
it was wild.
that's crazy.
Who would have thought that the astronauts would have a landline?
Exactly.
It's a long
Good
cord. It's a long cord.
That's fantastic. By the way, the most recent album, this country music thing, "Two Steppin' on the Moon" was the song that you did for the astronauts. I love the video of them dancing along with it. I also love the video that you did, and it just got released a month ago, for "Unsung Hero." It's the last song on the album, and you wrote it. Gave goosebumps. I got goosebumps watching it. When did you come up with the idea for the song and then the video concept?
So I wrote the song 10 years ago. It was my granddaddy, who the song is about. He actually died in 2001, and I never really knew anything about his service until long after he had passed away, and I had really kind of started digging into his life and his service, and just I had been digging around online. I had been talking to family members. I had been going to archives across the country, and just I ended up finding out that he was a medic in World War II in the Army, and his medical battalion actually followed a tank battalion around in Europe for well over a year and a half, and he ended up getting a Purple Heart. He was hit by enemy aircraft one night when he was driving the ambulance, and as I'm reading all this stuff, I'm kind of reading between the lines, and I'm like, he was an American hero, and there was probably so many things that he experienced that he never shared and never talked about. He was literally a man of few words, and like I say, I learned all of this long after he had passed away, but I had been at my uncle's house in Christmas of 2014, and had, he had allowed me permission to look at all of his papers and all of his stuff, and he let me take pictures of all of it, and so I just started doing my research, and it inspired me to sit down and write this song the next year, and it just kind of sat on the shelf for a long, long time, and I would pull it out from time to time, but when we started making this record, we had this one slot that we needed to fill, and I said, hey, why don't we give this one a shot? And so we did, and it turned out incredible. It's one of only 2 songs that have ever made me cry in the studio. I mean, it was so moving to me, and I've found too that it's not just about my granddaddy. It's about all those other people out there who know somebody like this that they can relate to this song.
Yeah. Yeah.
It comes through. The emotion, the connection comes through. And I love the images of you and the pictures of him next to each other. That just, it hits home.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like I say, there's a lot of people who have, who are related to a service man or woman, and, or knew somebody like that, they, like I say, they can relate to this story.
I'm going to bring it all. I'm going to bring it all the way back around. As far as set lists go, are you going to do "Unsung Hero" in Hannibal? I would love it. I think it would go over huge.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'll be playing this song at the Capitol Fourth for the PBS thing this week in DC, and we're going to have a good time there. But yeah, we're that song is a part of my set list for this year, so you'll get to hear it.
Fantastic. Josh Turner joining us this morning at 97.9 Kick FM. Is going to be in Hannibal for Barbecue Fest. Appreciate you carving out some time for us this morning.
Yes.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you, Josh. We'll
Looking
see you
forward
soon.
to it. Absolutely.